Hey guys, welcome to a brand new episode of Mydefipet. Today we're doing it all. We're looking at every type of rarity, so you guys know exactly what you're looking for in terms of the best pet you can have. A lot of new people coming to the game, and some of you might have missed this when it was covered on the channel before. Basically, we have the rarities of all the different types of pendants, amulets it's called, wings, tails, feet, everything. So we're going to take a look at that in detail. We're also going to look at the rarity in terms of the damage that each of the pets do. So some favor more attacking, some more defensive, some more tanks. We're going to take a look at that. Also going to look at auras and outlines and the differences there in how much that will impact on your stats. So basically you have all the information you need to know to get yourself started in this game. Now, before we get into today's video, if you are brand new to the channel, it always helps the channel out if you hit the like button, hit subscribe if you want to do future content, and hit the notification bell to keep notified of when videos update. Now, what I'm going to be doing is a few people have been asking in the comments section, can I have some D-Pet? Have you got some D-Pet? I'd like some D-Pet. You know what? Yes, I do have some D-Pet to give away. I think it's time. My channel has always been what I've tried to create is a community where we help each other out. You know, at the end of the day, your views and likes and comments and shares, these all help contribute to my revenue within the channel. So I always do like to give back. So we're going to start the very first of these competitions. We're going to do a Gleam competition. And I'm going to start by giving away 9 D-Pet. So 9 D-Pet. This will allow you to purchase 3 pets. Now this value is 9 times, currently about 6 on the Cardi chain, maybe probably $5. So we're talking $45, a huge amount. This will get you started. So any new people who haven't actually been able to afford the pets because they're so expensive, this one's for you. This competition's for you. Anybody who's already got some pets and just wanted some extras, this one's for you as well. So in the comment section, in the description section down below, you'll find the link to the Gleam competition. Get entering in that. What we'll do is next week, in a week's time, we'll do a draw, and whoever wins, you can get more entries by doing certain things within Gleam. Whoever wins will get that D-Pet. I'll send that to your contact address. So just post in the comment section stating that you're in and your contact address. Just be easier to find it after. If you want, or if you don't want to, you can just wait to the end and you can just email it to me when decided. Okay, let's get into today's video. Price of Depet is blown up on the Binance Smart Chain to $6.78. Now this is big. It's nothing compared to Crypto Blades, which is just it just helps me financially so much. Right, let's get into today's video then. Aside from the value of that, it's important now to know what the rarity is. We're going to have a team of, say it's 5 pets you're going to need for battle. Now, if you just want to go for looks, we do have, you know, rarity in different types. This, by the way, if you didn't see the previous videos, was taken from my sample of about 400 pets, 400 to 500 pets that I've taken only the ones that have feet. Well, all of them have feet, but some of the other ones, not all people have pendants, not all pets have pendants. You can see that type 3 is more common here, and type 1 and 2 are the similar uncommon. It starts to vary a lot more when you start looking at other things. So tails, we do have pets with rarer tails, so there's about an 8% frequency with this type of fish type tail, number 2. Then as we go up, we've got the dog tail. There's 4. We've got, that's called the dragon tail, also rare. Then becoming uncommon, we have this tail, and we have this tail, which looks like a, and then commonest, the most common is this one. Now note that whilst these are rare, there doesn't seem to be a correlation. We didn't find one pre-update of all the stats that meant the rarer the tail, the higher the stats. You would expect that in most games, so maybe there'll be some adjustments, maybe there have been already to match up with that. But that's what we found so far. Wings, we see ultra rare status going to this type of wing and this type of wing. Then going to rare, we have number 2, 4, 8, and 9. Uncommon goes to 3 and 7. And the most common found were in 5 and 6, at about an 18 to 21% frequency out of those pets. Amulets, now called, was wrong by calling the pendants. We see rare status going to 4 and 5, 3 and 1 common, 2 uncommon. There is a new amulet that happens when you breed that I've seen that I haven't added yet to this. Then we see horns. So the ultra rare horns are the alien ones, little antenna. And then we go to rares. There's a lot of rares: 10, 8, 7, 5, and 3 are all rare, dropping at about 6 to 8% frequency. We have uncommon as 4 and 1, and then the common types are these ones, the lighter tips, whatever colour they are, and these ones with the line running through it. Then finally we have glasses. I found that the ultra rare glasses were the diamond ones, the ones with 6 diamonds on them, the star glasses, and the one with a cross. And then rare status dropping about 6 to 8% frequency was 7, 8, 10. And the white backless glasses. I like to them. Uncommon went to number 2 and number 9, dropped about 13 to 16%. And then common was number 1, ones with the circle, and the small circles, they're the uncommon ones. So that makes up all those. So things to know, as I say, no evidence at the moment that they match up with greater stats. Each of these types of equipment does increase all your stats. So if you have a pet that only has tail, no wings, no pendants, it's going to be far weaker than one that has tails, wings, pendants. The more traits that you have, you want to try and get a pet that has full equipment. If you're playing since day 1, when they first released eggs, it works on the Mozilla side. If you opened eggs before the game actually released as a playable version, every pet you got had full traits. So I'm holding a lot of those pets, and it'd be great when the marketplace comes in, because I'll be able to potentially gift some of those out. They do have a lending feature that will be coming in the future lined up. But yeah, that's something I'd like to do, because most of them I'm not going to be using, to be honest, because I'll be using my Aura outline pets. So they're the rarity of those when you get them. It doesn't mean that you've got an 8% chance of getting the wing, a certain type of wings. It means that when you get a wing, there's an 8% chance that it will be that type of wing. I'd imagine the eggs drop at a similar rate to the ones stated in the breeding article that they released. Medium breeding, don't know what I expected to find there. In this article that they released, no, not that one, all the stated all the different breeding possibilities, breeding trait possibilities. I'd imagine eggs drop at a similar rate to that. Paws have probably 90%, eyes, horns, tail, amulet, all have a 90% chance of dropping with something, just one trait. Wings, yeah, definitely, it seems to be around that 60%. Wings are the harder to get. And then outlines and auras on this after breeding state that the traits is a 20% chance. Well, 12% chance if you breed 2 outlines of hatching a pet. I've hatched a fair few so far, and I've not had any outline auras. I've seen people do it, so I might just be, losing against the odds at the moment. But I'm not breeding at the moment until it's fixed, because I've lost deep at that way. Empty trait 8%. Now, I'd say that auras are harder to get than outlines. Outlines drop a lot more frequently. Outlines for me have dropped around about 2 to 3%, and then auras 1%, maybe even less, because I've only got 4 out of a about 700 pets in total. But I'm just one sample, but from what I've heard from other people, it seems to be similar. People think outlines are around 2%. So that's what you want to be going for. Full equipment, ideally in battle. If you're going to be competing against an aura versus outline, you need to see the difference in terms of stats. And we can see this in the update pet stats that are created that lists just one level 10 Rudolph, and we compare that. This is not like all my level 10 Rudolphs and averaged out, so it is a little bit biased. But I just wanted a rough comparison of that versus some of the aura stats. So I've labelled rare as blue, epic as red, and legendary as yellow, but there's no confirmation on that. It doesn't actually match the picture that they released with the different rarities, because it's rare is meant to be, epic's meant to be purple, not red. At the moment, there's no clear, decisive evidence that epic is better than rare, and rare is better, and then legendary is better than epic, because there are cases where we have a legendary, a yellow, with 163, 126, 15, 92, and then we have a better stats for this epic on 1077, 132, 16, and only lesser on the HP stat. So in terms of what comes out, don't worry if it's blue, if it's not blue. I do think there's a higher likelihood, just from looking at only a slight higher likelihood, that with the reds and the yellows that you're going to get better stats. But I don't think it's definitive. I don't have big enough sample enough. Like I said before in previous videos, anybody who can contribute this would be muchly appreciated. Take your legendaries, right click on here, insert a row, and then add in your epic, and then put in your stats at level 10, and then we can compare a bigger sample. Thank you to anybody who's already done it. So what do we know from these in terms of what pets are you going to be wanting? So as I said, we know that the stats for outlines are better. You can see 1142 compared to 1163. Oh, that's an exception. So this is, but is it higher on the other ones? Yeah, so it's higher on attack, higher on critical, lower on speed though. This is quite a good Adonis then, it looks like. So we're not seeing massive significant difference on that instance. But then if you look at this Rudolph, 615 HP compared to 715, 40 attack compared to 69, 9 critical, this legendary being 13 critical, and speed 60 versus 68. Huge difference there. So when you're going to be battling opponents, if they've got a whole collection of outline pets, it's going to be difficult. I've compared in the past aura pets, so the ones with like elemental, snow, poison, it looks like, or toxic, and then we've got fireballs. Those types of creatures, they don't seem to have different stats to your average pet, but what they will have is a special ability, a special move that they will be able to do if we were to go off previous photos that they've shown us. So know that if you've got an aura, whilst it may not have better stats than some of the outlines, it might have a killer attack that makes up for those stats. So what do each of these pets favour? Who do you want in your battles? Now, I've created this, and it shows that Rudolph is it's fairly tanky, it's fairly all-rounder, but there's a really good, which I'm going to show you, and I hope they're all right with it. Do a massive shout out to Jay on Telegram, who basically they researched all the stats and everything, but also read some of the details that they have in the descriptions of each pets. So, and what they worked out is that Bugsy from the description is a light element potentially. and their role is burst damage, so doing critical hit, a lot of damage, but not often. Maybe getting a rare crit hit does a lot of damage. Venom, dark element, a skiller, so somebody who disables, so maybe potentially not a great attacker, but has some special abilities that disables your opponent. Tiger, who is ice, they're the assassin, and they do good damage. Adonis, fire type, will do damage and is a semi-tank with its high HP. Winged Pupper is an all-rounder, so nothing really high but nothing really low. Rudolph, nature. Now, I've said Rudolph is quite a weak one to have, but potentially if it's a support healer buffer, so really supports the pets around it, it could be a really good one to have. Fang, earth type, highest damage stat. Yeah, so it's the highest damage stat of all the pets, and it's a tank. And then Spike, who's nature unknown, does damage, splash damage, so potentially hitting more than one opponent with an attack, and tanky, so it's going to be hard to take down. That matches up with what I found pretty much in my stats. So, you know, we've got Fang, attack, crit hitter. Adonis, mid all-rounder tank, does have high attack. Not as high as Fang at level 10, 150 compared to 111. Tigra, I've got down as a speed crit hitter, so it does have really high critical hit and is way faster than some of the other pets. You know, look up compared to 111 versus 42 on Adonis. Venom is an mid all-rounder. You know, take those descriptions, could make up for that in some of, you know, the ability to disable. Bugsy, same, crit hitter. Can do a lot of critical damage with a rare 19 damage. We have Winged Pupper, who speed. Now, Winged Pupper is your best pet for hoarding silver. So building silver up will get it up really, really fast if you've got Winged Puppers, because they have a significantly bigger growth of silver. What I mean by that is its base silver output, when you compare it to a Rudolph can start with more, like let's say it starts with 500 and Winged Pupper starts with 450. The multiplier is higher on Winged Pupper, so it will end up higher. It will end up taking over Rudolph, which is what we see by level 10. It has a much higher silver output. Here we've got this one is at 1,130. Compare that to this Rudolph, 1,029. The likes of, you know, some of the other creatures have really low silver output, like Bugsy, no go. Spike, I got them down as a tank, really good HP. What's happened there? That value's been deleted. We've got them down as a really heavy tank. But with some of the rare stats, we can see it rare having higher stats than epic, rare having higher stats than this epic. So no clear thing. I'd like to think all the rares were the same just because I've got a lot of blues, but the blue definitely seems to come out more often than the yellows, and then red would be mid based on my epics, rares and legendaries. Yeah, good attack output. So this one's going to survive and do a lot of attack. They're not going to pull off crit hits as often as people with the pets, and they're going to have really low speed. So what you want is not one of the same type of pet. You're probably going to want a mix. You're going to want a tank. You're going to want, I would probably be looking to favour a support type with Rudolph, a Fang for that damage output. I'd favour Venom if Venom is a disabler. Spike as that tank up front that does a lot of attack and takes some hits. And then I like Tigra for a speed crit hitter. Does fairly good attack, low health, but maybe put them at the back. Might not take as many hits and be able to do a lot of damage with a crit hit. And that is everything pretty much you need to know at this point in terms of when you're hatching those eggs, what you're looking for, and what you're going to be wanting to put in for future teams when PvP comes in. But I think we're going to have a lot more information going forward. It's just going to take some time to collate all that together. Talking Cryptoblade continues to go up. Mydefipet sticks the same. I think it's got a lot of potential in the next couple of days. I'm doing a video next on who I think will win or become the top 3 finalists of the Binance Most Valuable Builder competition that's going on. Mydefipet, Cryptoblade's both in that, and I think Mydefipet's got a real shot when we look at the stats on it, what they're looking for, as does Cryptoblade. But if either of them get listed, the price is going to go even higher. We're talking, I can see this going to, if it gets listed, $10 egg, no problem, because it might get listed on the Binance Innovation Zone, which would be epic. I'm hoping we see a little switch from the Kai side is not picking up. If you're new to the game, getting on the Cardio chain, it's a lot cheaper to play, both in fees for gas fees, and also the price is currently about 92 Kai, so it's roughly about $5, which is significantly cheaper, almost $2 cheaper than the Binance Smart Chain. And the fees are next to zero, basically. Very fast. Okay, well that's all for this video. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, please leave a like on the video. It always helps the channel out. Hit subscribe if you keep up to date with future content. That's all for me. See you guys soon.